Now, all the games, all the highlights. You've waited for it long enough. The WSAV Friday Night Blitz, driven by your Savannah and Low Country Honda dealers, is on the air.
Hey there, what is up? Welcome to the Friday Night Blitz tonight on WSAV, live from Richmond Hill High School. I'm WSAV Sports Director Greg Talbot. Thank you so much for choosing to stay up and hang out with us tonight for our live high school football highlight show here on WSAV. Well, entering this game, you might have been thinking, hey Greg, why are you at Richmond Hill tonight? This does not feature two local teams in the broadcast. Well, I will tell you why. Entering this year, Richmond Hill told me that even though they had one of the best offensive teams in school history last year, 3 Division I players graduated, they looked at me and they said, Greg, we think we're an even better team, top to bottom this year. I said, all right, well, this week against Camden County would be a pretty good time to prove it. The Wildcats out of 7A playing one of the most brutal high school football regions in the country. So this is our chance to see if Richmond Hill was indeed better than they say they were last year. So let's go to the highlights. We had a really nice big crowd tonight here at Richmond Hill High School, a totally packed house for our Friday Night Blitz game of the week on the CW. Now, that said, the defenses were so strong that it took us a fake to get our first touchdown of the night. Camden fakes a punt in the first quarter, and Jalen Davis, the man going around the right side to take it in and give Camden County the early lead on Richmond Hill after the Wildcats put in an early field goal. And then the Wildcats, the 7A Wildcats, they'd go to the air. Logan Watson, their quarterback, the junior, had a great game. He finds Logan Berryhill for a nice pass touchdown over the middle. He got behind the defense, and they would take a 13-6 lead headed into halftime. Then in the second half, Camden pretty much put it away. A backward pass for Richmond Hill would fall incomplete. Camden would take it in, and Richmond Hill, in my eyes at least, would never recover. There was a lot of special teams. The reflection here, I would say this is not a game, is not a good reflection because Richmond Hill star Aaron Bedgood, he left the game in the first quarter with an injury. He would not come back. But at the end of the game, we had a couple of garbage time touchdowns by Camden County that put him over the top. The final score tonight, 33-6. On WSAV CW. So it was an interesting game, felt close until about the 8-minute mark in the fourth quarter. But for more highlights, for more games, let's go back to Savannah to Connor Del Preet, who's in the studio with more. How's it going tonight, Connor?
What up, Greg? How we doing? We're beginning our show back here in the studio with a battle of unbeaten teams here. Both teams we're about to introduce you to are off to scalding hot starts, but hey, it's Friday Night Football. Somebody's got to lose. The Sharks from May River make the short jaunt to Hilton Head. 3 wins apiece, both teams allergic to losing. The crowd at the Nest is smoking, literally. May River's Ahmad Green on fire, too, with the spin move here, somehow not taken down. He was my pick for play of the week last week, no big deal. Drags defenders for 20 yards here, but a couple plays later, Green is getting a little too confident. This pass is tipped, intercepted by Christian Miller. Hilton Head down 4 starters to injury, yet they're still finding ways to fight back in this game. May River offense just too much. This is Brandon Morales. After this interception, he's going to take the handoff left side. That's an easy score there. He's going to finish with a whole chunk of yards and touchdowns on the day. 14-0 Sharks. Defense taking a bite. Jonathan Gaston tips off a pick pass. Sharks back in business. And it's Morales again left side. Another score. May River takes a 21-0 lead. Never looks back. Your final, the May River Sharks riding the Lightning with a 55-11 win over Hilton Head. Staying in the low country here. 2 more teams with perfect records. Buford hosting Wayne County. Out of the smoke they come. Visitors striking first. This is MJ Fuller taking the handoff. No defender is going to reach him here. The big man getting Wayne County up early in this one. And Wayne's QB Shamar Taylor was injured early too, so they go to the backup. Ashby Cribbs steps up to take over. Let's see what he can do. He's a senior. He's calm, cool, and collected. Delivers a dime right there to Ty Anderson. Buford trying to get something happening on offense. Anything. Jeffrey Smith's going to fumble here. That's not how you get something started. Luckily, the offense would recover, but this just shows you how much of a struggle it was for Buford all day on offense. Cribbs says, okay, my arm works. How about my legs? 15-yard QB scamper, and Wayne is cruising. Buford finally able to orchestrate something on offense. This is Smith to Adkins for a 20-yard dink and dump. Nice little grab there, but the Yellow Jackets, way too much for Buford to handle. They win 35-7. Keep with our low country scoreboard here. Bluffton moves to 500 on the year, taking won 16-14 win from Hanahan. Whale Branch travels to Ridgeland Hardyville. Last time we checked, they were up 37-20 in the fourth quarter. Bragging rights in Effingham County on the line. The Rebels welcome South Effingham to town. Beginning of the second quarter, Rebels up 7-0. South Effingham lines up the punt, but it's a fake. Eric Norman turns it up the field and takes it all the way to the house, to the hizzy. Tied up at 7. Effingham wasting no time answering, though. Desmond House caps off this drive with a great draw play here up the gut. Next play is an example of what kept the Mustangs in this game, though. Taylor Jackson always fleet on his feet, and he's showing it here. Launches it downfield, really throwing up a prayer. Who answers it? Well, Shamar Moore with the amazing grab. He says hello to the camera. What up, WSAV viewers? All his fans at home, they would get 3 off this drive later. Beginning of the third quarter, deja vu. Jackson rolling out again. Is this the same play, just a different angle? Maybe. This is Moore wide open. He has no trouble finding the promised land. South Effingham was up 17-16 at this point, but in the end, the Rebels get the win, 30-17. Veterans also beating Statesboro here. We're looking at our 5A level here, 21-0. That's it for our first block of games. But before we go, we're going to toss it back to Greg at Richmond Hill for a look at what's next in the D block. Greg.
Hey, Connor, that's right. We are just getting started tonight on the Friday Night Blitz on WSAV. Coming up on the other side of this commercial break, we have all the games from back in Savannah proper. We had some really good ones, including that rivalry between Savannah High and Jenkins, plus our Subway Player of the Week, the Performance of the Week, the Play of the Week, and a lot more. So you stay here for that. Welcome back to the Friday Night Blitz, live from Richmond Hill High School on WSAV. I'm Sports Director Greg Talbot. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. Well, if you look around the Savannah area here after week 4 of the high school football season and say, Greg, who is the best story of the year? I have one answer from you, but it comes on the other side of the border. It is the May River Sharks. They are undefeated now, 4-0 after beating Hilton Head, and that is where we find our Subway Performance of the Week. It is running back Brandon Morales. He was outstanding and electric tonight. 4 touchdowns, 225 yards on that way to that win tonight over Hilton Head, keeping them undefeated on the season. So, Connor, I've got one question for you. Now, after beating Whale Branch and Bluffton and Hilton Head, does that make the May River Sharks the #1 team in the South Carolina Low Country? What do you think?
I'm going to go with yes, Greg. I'm riding the Lightning. Why not? Buford lost tonight. May River 4-0, beating a very good Hilton Head team and blowing them out. So, yeah, I'm riding the Lightning here. I'm sure they'll love me on Twitter, too. All right, we're going to head to our Savannah games now. Jenkins feeling themselves after dominating at South Effingham last week. They're playing at Garden City Stadium once again, this time against winless Savannah High. Dante Harris going to get things started off for Savannah High. He's buying some time with his feet, but there's a problem. Jenkins' defense is stacked. Sacked by Joe Cash Money. Warriors take over. They pounce quickly. Sean Campbell Jr. walks this one in. 2-point conversion, no good. Don't matter, though. Jenkins up 6-0 in the first. Now, Harris decides to let this one fly before he's sacked, but an even worse result. Dontavius Hamilton sniffs it out, intercepts the ball. He'll return it 40 yards for a touchdown. The linebacker getting all the praise as he makes his way back to the sidelines. Warriors up 2 scores. Now the Warriors find themselves backed up deep in their own territory. Time to call on the jet sweep. Darius Bush looking like Reggie Bush out there, turning on the Jets. 40-yard gain, giving Jenkins much-needed breathing room. Let's go back to Savannah High now. A little bit of magic happening when you give the ball to Majoron Williams. Whoop! That's a first down and more. Come on. Can't finish the drive off, though. Jenkins' defense simply too dominant tonight. They win by the final of 38. Yes, 38-0. Norfolk Groves is still struggling to get on its feet with head coach Mike Martin at the helm. Johnson, meanwhile, hasn't won in over 2 years. Don't tell that to the Adams Smashers, though. Namon Pointer. He's going to take the snap here. A QB keeper picks up a nice little 10-yard gain for a first down. Groves is going to regroup and reload on defense. So this is Khalik Holbrook, who's going to stop the QB in the backfield. Ouch. That hurts. Big loss here. Groves going to take over on offense. Deshaun Moore pulls off his own version of the QB keeper. That's good for a dozen yards right here, right next to our camera. But Johnson has a beast at running back. He's going to get it going as we got on later in this game. Nequan Stafford is an absolute unit. He's at least 2.5 Connor Del Preets, right? Give it to him again at the goal line, and he's in. Last time we checked, Johnson was 25-14 over Groves. in the fourth quarter. Now time for our Blitz Play of the Week, brought to you by Subway. I think special teams deserves a bit more attention here, so let's give it to them. Fake punt here in our WSAV Game of the Week. Caught people off guard. That's Caleb Keaton taking this one all the way to the greener pastures that we like to call the end zone. All right, well, before we go, we want to remind you that WSAV and Ford are teaming up again to highlight you. That's right, you, the fans. We're out in full force every Friday night, taking pictures. Check out the Build Ford Tough Fans Photo Gallery every week to see if you've been spotted by our Blitz cameras. Visit WSAV.com/BuiltFordToughFans. And remember, America's strongest trucks are built for tough. Obviously, as Greg mentioned, May River, part of another fantastic week of high school football. There's so much more that we still have to talk about. Islands going down there 0-3 to start the year. So again, that's week 3 of high school football wrapping up here in Savannah. We had an awesome time out there in the Coastal Empire. We're so glad that you joined us. And again, we'll be here same time, same place next week. Have a great Saturday morning, folks.